Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we have a rare thing on the channel today, just a plain vanilla thermo Sudoku. This one is, well, I think all the thermo Sudokus that we do on the channel nowadays are by Blashyrkh, who is the bona fide master of thermos. It's called Ignition. And if you're new to thermo Sudoku and you don't know what's going on, the idea is basically you have to increase digits from the bulb to the tip of a thermo. That is all the rules. This one doesn't seem to have very many thermos in it at all. Although I think am I wrong? Did the last one I did by Blashyrkh only had 4 thermos in it? I might be misremembering. But this one has been recommended to us by, among others, Florian Wortman, the brilliant constructor, who wrote yesterday and said that this is a magnificent puzzle. It is rated 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany, but Florian said he only found it 3 stars. I snipped some comments before I turned on the webcam. Let's have a look at those. One of them is from Florian. My German isn't quite good enough to understand the last part of, I don't know what wieder zugeschlagen means, but I presume it's complimentary. But Playmaker 6174, who solves everything, the master of hot and cold stuff, has come up with something funny once again. Genius design, says Peacenin. This is what I'm going to have a go at. Look, I get a given digit today, a 3 not quite in the corner. I will read the rules properly in a moment or two's time. Now, in just an hour, if you're watching this at 8:30 UK time, which is the time we release, or I release all my videos, or all my Sudoku videos, I suppose I should say, then in just an hour and a half's time, Mark and I are going to be streaming some Tametsi, this very cute Hexcells game. So we've done one stream of this so far, and we really enjoyed it, and it seemed like you guys did too, so we're going to have another go. I don't think we've seen this puzzle yet, but it's a bit like Minesweeper, but with sort of a bit of a speed injection, and it's a lot of fun. And 10 o'clock UK time. Love to have your company if you're free. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. In other news, we are releasing very shortly the solution videos for this month's competition by the Paint by Numbers Institute. We had over 1,000 correct entries, I think, for that in the end. So the solution videos will be on Patreon very soon. Also, on the just over a week's time, actually, we have got Duality 2 coming out from the Skunk Works. This is a very exciting pack of Sudokus. The quality of these puzzles is just unbelievable. And if you're wondering about Duality Sudokus and what's involved, Duality, the original Sudoku hunt, is available on Patreon for free at the moment. It is we've released it as a teaser, so check that out. Maverick's about to fly over. In fact, as I look outside, it's blue sky out there, which is rather nice to see. There's not been much of that in the UK recently. And the basic idea of Duality Sudokus is that the Sudokus contain lines, which might include an old thermometer line, but the line will do 2 things. So it might be, I don't know, it might be a thermometer and a German whisper, although it would have to be quite short to be that, or it might be a thermometer and in fact, all the examples I'm now coming up with are bonkers. But yeah, basically, lines they have 2 rule sets associated with them. It leads to some really, really beautiful logic. Now, what else? Is there anything? Oh, a birthday. I've got, I suppose I should wish Robert a very happy birthday. I think, Robert, you do watch occasionally, I've been led to believe. On your way to Durham today, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll see you next week. So Robert's the first birthday. The next birthday is Alice. Alice, you've turned 10 today. That's absolutely brilliant that you have any awareness of this channel at all. Your father Alex wrote to us and said you might appreciate a shout out, and I think you've been getting into all things puzzles recently, including Rubik's Cubes, but also some Sudoku too. So Alice, I hope you have a great birthday today, with of course a large slice of chocolate cake. And with that said and done, let's read the rules of Ignition and see what the great Blashyrkh has in store for us. The rules are not going to take long to explain. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. And then digits along a thermometer increase from the bulb end. So if this square here is a 2, this square here has to be more than 2. It doesn't have to be 3. You can go up in bigger units. Let's go 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be a possible way of presenting this thermometer. So you can see just as mercury rises, as temperatures rise, so digits must rise along our Sudoku thermometers. That is all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I'm smiling to myself because I know exactly what Mark would do with this puzzle. Mark, it's actually a very strange thing. Mark and I solve thermometer puzzles just in the most diametrically opposite ways. So Mark, I mean, maybe I'll get him to comment on this video actually, or even have a go at the puzzle, because it would be sort of interesting. Because I think what he would do, he would count the length of this thermometer, which is a 6-cell thermometer, and then he would immediately say, okay, so this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So you'd just end up with a mammothly pencil mark thermometer. Now that's only length 5, that's length 5, that's length 5. Are these all these others are length? Yeah, they are. All the others are length 5. So they'd be even worse pencil marking. And I get overwhelmed by pencil marks very quickly. So I try and do thermometer Sudoku just by staring at them. For example, I stare at them and I have certain principles which are very, very simple, which I try and make use of. And my two favourite, well, my two easy tips for thermo Sudoku is to ask where 9s and 1s go. Because 9 and 1 are very restricted, obviously, on a thermometer. Could you put 9 on this thermometer in any position other than that one? No. Because if you try and put 9 early in a thermometer, then the tip of that thermometer will be bigger than 9, and that's not a Sudoku digit. So you can't do that. Similarly, on this thermometer, where does the 1 go? If there is a 1 on it, it must be in the bulb, because the bulb can't be 0 or negative. So if we put 1 here, the implication is this is smaller than 1. That will not work. So in this row, 1 and 9 I can see are in these squares. So perhaps what we're meant to do... No, it doesn't quite work as well in column 4. I was going to say perhaps what we have to do is to think about 2 and 8 in this row. 2 can go in 2 places actually. 8 can't go. Okay, 8 is either here exactly, or it is in this collection of digits. If that was 8, this would be 9, 9, 9, it would be in a domino in box 6. Let me try and come up with something before we have to reduce ourselves to pencil marking. Let's try 1 and 9 in this column. Yeah, because this digit can only be 1 of 1 or 9. Obviously, you can't put both 1 and 9 in that cell. Now, okay, so that cell actually is a 1 or a 9. Because imagine it wasn't for a moment. Let's imagine this was a 1-9 pair. Where would you put those digits in column 4? Remember, a 1 and a 9 can't go on thermometers. And if this is a 1-9 pair, they also couldn't go in those squares. So that would have to be both 1 and 9. That won't work. So this is 1 or 9. And whatever this is, whatever that is, let's give that a colour. We'll make that blue. That has to live exactly there in column 4. So that digit is definitely 1 or 9. Yeah, okay. So... yeah, so my brain wants me to go back to 2 and 8 again. Because Can you put both 2 and 8 on these thermos? If you put 2 there and 8 there, that would be 1, that would be 9. The answer to that seems to be yes. You can't do it on that side as well. This thermometer's got a slightly different restriction, hasn't it? It's got a longer tail, if you like. But surely there's... Oh, goodness, sorry, the wind is now blowing my window in. Okay, sorry, that's a big bang. So in this column, 2 can't go on the bottom thermometer, because 2 here would make this a 0, but it can go on the top thermometer here. And 8 in this column, 8 can go here, or there actually. Although if that was 8, this would be 9, wouldn't it? And that would make this 9. Actually, I will give that a colour, just for the sake of thinking that through. So if that's 9, so if that's 9, that's 9. No, that's not doing anything. Okay. So, sorry, this is... Having said that Mark and I would do it differently, Mark would probably be spotting all sorts of things. What could we do? We could... Oh, I'm sorry, I've got nothing here, have I? I feel there is something going on with 2s and 8s in this row and this column. That is what I want to investigate. I'm just a bit unsure about how to do it. 2 in this row is either putting a 1 in one of those squares, or it's in here. And if it's in there, then 8 can't go in here. So 8 would be here. I can't get it, sorry. What about, okay, let's try that column again. If, again, it seems in the column 8 is more restricted, because 8 can't go... No, actually, 8 can go here and here. 2 can't go on this bottom one. No, in the column 2 is more restricted. Hang on, let's try and do this in some sort of legitimate order. Let's have a colour for 2 in row 4. So 2 can go there, 2 can absolutely go here, and 2 can go there. So there are 3 possible positions for 2. Purple is going to be my colour for 2. Now, in column 4, where can the 2 go? Now, obviously, it can go in there again, or here. But it can't go at the bottom, so it is a bit restricted. Yes, okay, so this is useful, because now it's much easier for me to see that 1 is restricted in row 3. That's weird. Isn't that beautiful, actually? That must be relevant. So, if you can't see why 1 is restricted in row 3, pause the video, because I think it's beautiful. So what I'm going to claim is, if we look along row 4 and ask where 2 is, and let's assume for the moment it's not in one of these squares, so it's not in the middle box. Where is 2? It's either here or here. Now in either case, it's going to plonk a 1 into its thermo bulb. So if 2 is not here, 1 is in one of these 2 squares. But if 2 is here, where is 2 in column 4 then? It's not in these 2 squares, so it's there, and that's a 1. So the 1 is in one of those 3 squares, definitely. In row 3. So it is to do, I think, with 2s and 8s. Because let's see how that now works with 8s. So 8 could go here, here. No, see, yeah, 8 is restricted. But no, 8 is so 8 is sort of, it's actually symmetrical, isn't it? So the 2 had 2 positions in row 4, and that are not in box 5. And 8 has 2 positions in column 4, as well as those 2. So I want to say that's going to plonk a 9 in column 3, just as a 1 was plonked into row 3. Let's try and work that through. So if 8 is here in row 4, this is 9, isn't it? And if 8 is not here, it's in one of these 2, which plonks it into one of those squares, which makes one of those tips a 9. So the 9 in... I don't like that colour. The 9 in column 3 is restricted. Now what? Now. Oh, okay. I'm going to get rid of my colour for those 2, because 9 is one of these digits, but I don't know which one it is. Obviously, if it's that one, it's very powerful because it's forcing this one not to be 9. But one of those 3 digits is a 9. So what exactly have we got from that then? So I've managed to lock 1. One is in yellow in row 3, not in those squares. Obviously it could never have been here, but I would never have considered it being there. 9 is in one of the blues, so it's not in any of those. What does it mean? I think I did work out these could simultaneously be 2 and 8 before, didn't I? Is that wrong or is that right? No, hang on. Oh, I've got it. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Oh goodness me, I've spotted it, I think. Hang on. Does it work the other? It worked for 2s when I did that. Let me just see if it works for my green digit as well. So if that's green... Oh, yeah, okay. This is very clever. This is really... It's genius setting. It's genius setting. So... Okay. The effect of this is much more powerful than I'd realised, because what it's actually doing, the effect of what it's doing, is it's forcing 2 and 8 into in box 5. 2 and 8 are in the coloured cells, and that's a weird thing. But it's actually forced by the yellow and the blue digits. This is how it would have been very easy, and I did this, to just think that the limit of the yellow and blue digits is this, and therefore we can't put 9s into these squares. But it's much more profound than that. Let me explain. Let's look first at row 4, because that's how I spotted this. And let's just think about the implications of this being a 2. Now, if this is a 2, this digit is definitely a 1, isn't it? And look, now let's go back to the column 4 logic. If this was a 1, The point is then, because you can't make either of these squares 1, and in particular this square can't be a 1, this could not be a 2 in column 4. It could not be. So if you do decide to put a 2 there, the 2 in column 4 is in one of those squares. And that logic is the same here. If you do decide to put a 2 here, making this a 1, you can't make this a 1 anymore. So the 2 in this column can't be here and is forced here again. So in row 4, either the 2 is in one of these squares and therefore in this domino, or it's simply in this domino. Now, where am I going with all this? Well, what I'm going to try and prove is that these squares can't involve 2s and 8s. And given they can't involve 1s and 9s, and this is a 5-cell thermo, you can see where that's going. But let's try and do the same thing with green. So green in this row. If this is green, no, it is green. Green was my colour for 8. If this is 8, this is 9. Now that means that in column 4 again, you can't make either of these green. They cannot be 8s because that would put 2 9s into column 3. So if you do decide to make this an 8, then this domino contains green in column 4. And if you decide not to make this green, then the green is in this domino. So either way round, green is in, the 8 is in one of those squares. So it's very peculiar because my green and purple highlighting was sort of row logic. I was saying originally that purple in row 4 goes in all these squares and purple in column 4 goes in these squares. But the effect is actually to force purple and green into those 4 squares in box 5. And if given that purple and green are 2 and 8, this now is at least a 3. This square is a maximum of 7, and that is a 5-cell thermo. And that is absolute, that is magic. That is magic with digits from Blashyrkh. And I haven't needed loads of pencil marks. No. And that's a 5 by Sudoku. Because that digit sees 7, 3, 4 and 6. It sees the sort of horseshoe elements apart from the 5. And it sees 1, 2, 8 and 9 in these squares. So that's a 5. This square now is, it can only be 4 or 6, can't it? Because it can only be these 2 digits. There is nothing else available. Now what do we do? It must be to do with 3s and 7s, isn't it? 3s and 7s in either this column or this row somehow. Do I have to colour them again? Where's... Should we just try 3? Oh, 3. Yeah, we'll try 3 because we've got a given 3. So where is 3 in this column? Oh, it could never have been here. It couldn't have been here anyway, sorry. That is the 4th cell along a thermo. Can that be 3? 3, 2, 1. That would make this not a 1, so the 1 would be over here. Possibly, yeah. So, and where can 3 go up? Can 3 go in any of those squares? Yes. Yes, I think it can. 3, 2, 1, or 3, and this is a 1 or a 2. Although that digit's actually okay. So this is a 6-cell thermo, isn't it? So this digit has to be from 1, 2, 3 and 4, but it can't be 4. So that's 1, 2 or 3 by Sudoku. And that does limit this slightly. If this was 3, it goes 3, 2, 1, and that would break this. So we can't do that. Oh, no. No, sorry, I thought I'd seen something I haven't. 1, 2, 3. So this square here is 2, 3, 4. I mean, I could pencil mark this. Is it going to do me any good at all? I don't want to. I will do it if I get stuck, but I'd rather not. Anyway, so I was thinking about 3. I haven't thought about 3 in row 4. Let me think about that. So 3 in row 4, where can that go? And the answer is... I don't know. I think it's got a few options, actually. I don't like that question very much. 7... I don't think it's likely that 7 will be more restricted. I'd love to be proved wrong. I would love to be proved wrong. What could we do with 7s? So 7 could go here on this thermometer, because this could be an 8-9 pair. So that can be 7. Or 7 could be in either of those 2 squares, I think. Okay, sorry. I am I am perplexed. What do we do now then? Maybe I'll go back to my 1s and 9s again. Or not 1s and 9s. What about the 2s and the 8s? Have we now, because we've learnt a little bit more, haven't we? We have learnt a little bit more. Right. No, okay, so we don't... Well, we do sort of think about 7, but we don't first. We think about 8 first. Let's think about 8. Oh, I mean, it's such a... makes you think... It makes me feel like a prize doofus, actually. This is totally obvious, and I'm very sorry about this. Okay, what we did originally was we thought about where 8 went in row 4. Well, 8 can't go here now. I mean, it could have done before all these shenanigans, but it definitely can't now. Because if 8 goes here, this is an 8-9 pair. In fact, let's just put it in. 8-9. Now where would you like to put 7 in column 4? Because there is nowhere for it to go. It has to go on a thermo. And axiomatically, the tip of that thermo, whether it's this thermo or this thermo, the tip is in column 3, where it must contain a number higher than a 7. And it can't, because 8 and 9 have gone. So that's absolutely obvious, but I didn't see it. So now, this is not the green digit in this row. So the green digit is here. So this is not green. This is definitely green. So so these squares are 1, 8, 9. And the 2, which was my purple digit, cannot go here anymore. So there's a 2 here. And this cannot be a 2. So this cannot be a 1. Because remember now, we're in a world where the 2 in row 4 is in one of those squares. So one of these is a 1. This is definitely not a 1. But I'm sure we can do better than that. We just have to think about it. So now... hang on. Now... So now... Yeah, okay, so now... Well, we worked out this couldn't be 8, didn't we? So I think that the 8 the 8 in column 4 is either here or here, which means one of these is a 9, so that one is not a 9 anymore. And what does that mean? Yes, okay. So let's do a little bit of Sudoku. I mean, it's outrageous when I'm made to do Sudoku, but I'm going to do it. 6 is in one of those squares, isn't it, in this box by Sudoku? So 6 is in one of these 3 squares, but I don't think that can be 6, because 7, 8, 9 is going to make this a blue digit again, and we've worked out that blue is, well, 9 is in one of those 2 squares, so I think 6 is relatively high up this thermo. I want to say that makes this an 8 then, because it can't be 7. That must be right, mustn't it? Yeah. This digit is higher than 6. It's not 9 by blue digitage. It's not 7. It is 8 then. But does that mean that's 6? No, maybe that can be 7. If that's 6, this is 7. And if that's 6, it's 6. So that's 6 or 7. That doesn't put downward pressure on the thermo. But now do I have more problems than I had before about 7 in this column? Because 7 in this column now... Yeah, okay, here is a point about this column. 7 and 8 are on the same thermometer, I think, because imagine they weren't for a moment. So let's imagine you put 8 here, and then you put the 7 on this thermometer. You can see why that's going to be a problem, because if this is the 8, this is going to be 9. 8 and 9 have gone in column 3. So if you put the 7 on this thermometer, this is going to be an 8 or a 9. That can't work. So whichever one of these is green, let's give 7 a colour. 7 is in one of those 2 squares now in column 4. And we're going to go either 7, 8, 9 there, or 7, 8, 9 there. Now, is there a difference between those? I mean, there is a very small geometric difference. Is it doing something to that thermo tip? If this was 7, 9, this could be 8, could it? Or maybe that can still be 6, actually. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's annoying. 6, 5, 4, 3... I can't see why that breaks anything. So 7 and 8 are on the same thermo. How big... Okay, how big do these tips... One of these tips is 9. What's the other one? That is quite interesting. Okay, yeah, that is a good question. Let's look at the tips of thermos in column 3. Because one of these is 9, and its thermo is going to go 9, 8, 7 backwards, because we know that one of the green digits is 8. We know that's got a 7 behind it, so that's one of these thermos dealt with. Now the other thermo, I don't think... Oh no, hang on, am I wrong? I might be wrong. I might be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Yeah, the other thermo can't end in a 5. This can't end in a 5, because if this ends in a 5, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we know that the 1 in this row is in a yellow square. So this doesn't end in a 5, it ends in at least a 6. And this doesn't end in a 5 because it's a 5-cell thermo, and it would go 5, 4, and that would clash here. So both of these, this is important, I think, because both of these are therefore at least 6, and that's going to give us loads of high digits identified in this column. So I was going to say that digit, but that digit's also a bit restricted. So in this column, what about that digit actually? Ah, no, but the thing is, if that's a 7, there's no pressure on this. All of these gapped digits are low digits. They're 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, or 5s. So that one I am prepared to pencil mark. That is 1, 2, or 4. It's not 3 or 5. That one is 1, 2, or 3. Now, is there any other? I suppose this one sees the 1, doesn't it? So I will give that the okay. I was trying to keep away from 4 digits in a cell, but let's allow ourselves that luxury. Oh, but if I do that, I've got to label this as 2, 3, 4, or 5. There's no reason this can't be a 1, is there? Okay, I'll do it. 2, 3, 4, or 5. That doesn't... No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to take both of those out. Right. Okay, so what do we now know about the world? We've got a 6 in one of these. We've got a 6 in one of these. If this is 6, this is a 7-9 pair. Is it something to do with 2? 2 is not on a thermo in this column, is it? So where is 3? So 3 is here, because this can't be 1. So 3 could be here if this is a 2. 3, 2, this would be a 1. What would that be then? That would have to be... That would have to be a 4. Because it couldn't be... It's a 5-cell thermo, so ordinarily it could be a 5, but it ends in 8. So it couldn't be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 thermo. So if this is 3, the world is a much clearer place. A much clearer place. But there are other possibilities. Well, there's only one other possibility. Oh, done it. Done it. Right, that's wrong. Right, that's wrong. You can't put 3 here. Because that cell couldn't work. If look at this column, 3, I'm claiming it can't be here. That's right. If that was 3, this is 1. That's definitely wrong. So 3 is here, which caused the cacophony of beauty that I think we're going to get. But if 3 is not exactly there in the column, it can't be the 4th cell on a thermo. So it has to be here. And look, this thermo goes 3, 2, 1. And that digit sees all of those cells. That's impossible. So 3 in this column, I think, has to be here. And this is going to do magic, absolute magic, because now this has to be 2, because we know one of these is the 1. This, in fact, that's the 1 now, isn't it? So now this can't be 2 in row 4. That has to be 2. This digit has to be 4, because the thermo only goes as high as 8, so it goes 5, 6, 7. So 7 comes out of these 2 squares. What about these 2? We can get these digits. They're in order. We don't really need that 3, do we? Have I used that 3 for anything? I'm not sure I have. I was thinking perhaps it doesn't disambiguate this because the thermo does it. 3, 4. Just by filling 3 and 4 into the row and making sure they go in the right order. 7, 8 here. They're a pair by Sudoku. These are 1, 5, and 9 by Sudoku. That's not 5. 3 is in one of those squares. Let's try it. That's the first. I think that's the first time I've used this 3. Now, what do we do next? I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But we're steadily, or not maybe. Wait a second, wasn't that digit? Yeah, I took out the pencil mark. We'll be chuckling away. No, that digit. Remember that we got this sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. That's a naked single. It's a 5 now, because in the row it sees 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's a 5. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3 because it can't be 4. Now, is that one restricted? It's 2, 3, or 4, isn't it? So this is 1, 2, or it looks like it should be. I don't know actually. I'm not certain. We know this square isn't 1. Maybe there's more I can do with Sudoku in the middle box then. Can we get that somehow? I don't know actually. 1. So if this was 6 now, this would be a 5, 4 pair, wouldn't it? If this was 9, this would be 8, 7. And that might be fine. I'm not sure. Oh, I see. No. Okay, let's return to this thermo. It's very difficult for this to be 6, I think. I think if that's 6, I'm running into the same sort of problem with this digit. Because if this is 6, because 4 can't go in this position, this is the 3rd digit along the thermometer, so it's at least 3, but it couldn't be 4 or 5. It has to be 3, and that's still going to break this. So this is 9. This puzzle is so incredibly clever. Right, so these are... This thermo starts with a 2. So this does go 5, 4. 4 goes in the middle of the grid by Sudoku. These squares are 6 and 2. We can just write them in. So that's not purple anymore. This is a 1 by Sudoku. So 1, 9, 8, 1, all going into the grid. This is a 7, 8 pair. These are a 6 and a 9. I can do that. 6 and 9 go in. That actually 6 is not meant to be blue, is it? 6 is in one of those squares. It probably could go on the thermo. Maybe. Although look, this row we've got loads of low digits in it. That's a 7, 8, or a 9. C's a 6. These squares are 7 and 8, aren't they? That's okay. So they were not where my 7, 8, 9 triple went. 9 is in one of the... Oh, look at this column. 5, 5, 6, 9, I think. So these squares are a 2, 3 pair. Oh, and then this does do something. So that's not 2. So that's... No, that's not how thermos work, Simon. Be careful. That's not 9. 3 is in one of these cells. Oh, well, that's... Yes, okay. That's a 4, isn't it? By Sudoku, apparently. So this is not 4. That's not put any pressure on this. 4 I can place in box 4. 9. What about... No, I can't do that. 1, 2, 3, and 9 into those squares. This... Oh, that's a 2 there. So this is a 1. Sorry, I just didn't see that. So now, this is a 9. So 9 is in one of those two squares. These two squares are a 2-3 pair. Have I done all my thermometerage? No, I haven't used this one yet. I nearly have used it all up, but not quite. So this digit, oh, that digit is, it can't be 5, can it? So it's 6, 7, or it can't be 8, because that would be a 9, and that would clash. That's 6 or 7, I think. So that's 7 or 8, which makes a pair in the row, a pair in the column. Now, well, if it's a pair in the column, that's a 6, obviously. Yeah, so now I get a 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. That's a 7, 8, 9 triple in box 3, the 9 of which is in row 3. So the 9 comes out of there, but has to be therefore in the corner by our earlier logic. So these squares are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's pencil. Oh, 5. No, we can just write 5 in. So that's 5 by Sudoku. This is absolutely wonderful. Now there's a 2 up here by Sudoku. So there's a 2. There's a 2. Yes, that's great. That's great. This 2 is very beautiful. So that puts that as 3, that as 2. 2 is in. 2's in a domino down here. And this column, we've effectively got 6 digits in it. We haven't got 1, 2, and 9. Oh, the bottom cell. That's a naked single 2. It sees 1 and 9. That means we get the digit up there for the price of 1. This is a 1. Sees the 9. This is a 9. This is a 9. This is a 6. It's just filling in. 6, 5. 5 must be. 5's there. 1, 6, 7. So this is 1 or 7. I am prepared to pencil mark it now. 3 digits in a cell, that's okay. This is a 3, 4 pair, and we can do the order. Now, what about, that's 7 or 8. Whoops, I want to put a 7 or 8 in there. There's a 7, 8 pair in this row. So this is a 1, 2 pair. Is that resolved? I've got a 1, 2, 3 triple in this column. So this is 7 or 8. Loads of squares being 7 or 8. 1, 3, 1, 3, and 8 into these squares. Yes, well, that definitely can't be 3. That's hard to see. Look at this column. Those 4 digits are where I'm looking. That's a quadruple on 1, 7, 8, and 9. They're the only possible cells I've got, or the only possible numbers I've got into those 3 or 4 cells. So they are a 1, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in some order, and that square is a 6. So that's not a 6. There's something going on in this column. Yes, where's a 6 in this column? I was looking at those 5 as a quintuple, but it's simpler to ask where does 6 go. Okay, well we should, if that's a quadruple and we got that digit, we should get that digit, shouldn't we? That's got to be a 4. This is 7 or 8 again. Oh no, I was going to say 7, 8, 9 triple. I haven't got a 7, 8, 9 triple. What's going on? Oh, no, hang on. No, I have used all my thermo. No, it's not that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hang on. What's going on? Do I have to colour these 7s and 8s? I'm going to have a quick look at that. 7, 8. So that's 7 or 8. So this one is the same as that one. I better, what colour could I get? I can get rid of blue. Actually, I'll get rid of all the colouring for everything. Just because I don't need that colouring anymore. I want to just keep track of 7s and 8s if I can. That's got to be grey. That's got to be blue. You can't do it down here. We don't know what that one is. because that could be 7 and that 8, or you could do that in either order. So maybe this dies, does it? That one's blue. Oh no, that's grey now. So we are still going. Right, that is useful, because now that has definitely become grey, and therefore that is definitely 9. And oh, that didn't work. Hang on, but we're still going. We're still in line for goodies here. Let's see. Can we disambiguate these or the? Oh no, that's a deadly pattern. Okay. Oh, there we go. 7 and 8 are looking at that one, so that's got to be a 1. So that's a 7 by Sudoku. That's 8. So grey is 8. Blue is 7. This is 1. This is 9. This is 3. This is 8. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 3. What a puzzle that is. It's just absolutely brilliant. It really is brilliant. Let's just tidy everything up, make everything look pretty. There. That is just beautiful. Let's see if it's right. It is right. 125. What? I thought this was a new puzzle. I didn't know that. Good grief. Florian's email suggested it was really new. Well, it doesn't matter. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? It really is brilliant. And what I liked about it most is it's clear-ish where you have to look. You know, I don't know. Actually, I would be very interested to read the comments on this one, because I may even give Mark a ring and ask him to solve it, because I'd be very interested to know how it works if you solve it with pencil marks. Are some of the things that we did there obvious or not? Because I'm not sure whether it would be. So my questions about sort of the way that we coloured the digits, the 2s and the 8s in these columns, allowed me to see the effect in these squares and in the tips here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure at least the way my brain works, I would have struggled. You know, if I had a whole wealth of pencil marks in the end of these thermos, I think I would have struggled to see the implication. I found, you know, we all find our ways through these puzzles. But my way of doing thermometers is to just think about extreme digits and where they can go. Thank you very much for bearing with me. I'm so sorry if that was an annoying way to do it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.